Let's do a little thought experiment. Think about something that you do 1,000 plus times a day. Things that are so biologically programmed in your everyday life that you don't even realize they're happening. You just do them. Got a few? Good. Now, let's convert those 1,000 reps into $1,000. Nice. And see what happens if we add 1% of that, or $10 a month, over the course of 30 years with an annual interest rate of 10%. Huh. 1% improvement can go a long way. And just for some dubious speculation, let's see what a 2% increase of $20 a month would do. Oh, I like that. And at this point, you may be wondering, cool, but what's the point here? Well, it's the simple display of how getting 1% better at something that you do 1,000 plus times a day can have a pretty big payoff down the road. Compounding like interest in the Health and Longevity Bank, while driving the mission statement of preserving and extending your vitality over time. And all it took was a slight optimization of something you already do. Sounds like a worthwhile endeavor if you ask me. And if you think so too, I got good news. We're going to review my top 3 most impactful micro optimizations that you're probably not thinking about. Let's go. Yo, what is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftingbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and longevity and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic way. Today, we are giving a shout out to math and finance professors all across the land and exploring the powers of compound interest on our biological self. Yes, that's right. Compounding our cellular and metabolic efficiency and thus health over time by making small micro shifts in basic physiological things that we do each and every day. A few of which you should have jotted down in your mental notes from the beginning of this video. But in case your dog ate your homework, it happens. I have 3 of my own favorite to talk about, highlighting both why they're important as well as tactical tips to start applying them in your everyday life. Oh, and we have a bonus 1,000 or 2. One that is a little more complex to tame but potentially wields the greatest payoff. And throughout this powwow, I also have an ask of you. Continue to think about other things that we do 1,000 plus times a day and drop them in the comments so we can figure out how to optimize them together. Cool? Cool. So enough chit chat, let's dive into thing number 1. And you may want to take a deep breath or 2 in preparation, because it is breathing. Yes. The in and exhalation of invisible molecules is not only something that we need to survive, but something that we do over 1,000 times a day, often in a suboptimal way. In fact, we do it well over 1,000 times a day, 25 to 25,000 to be exact. Wow. Talk about the potential for compound health interest. Now, you may or may not know there are optimal and suboptimal ways to do this breathing thing, and it specifically revolves around the apparatus that we use for inhalation and the depth of our breath. Let me explain. We have 2 ways of inhaling and exhaling, our mouth and our nose, but that doesn't mean that they're both equal in terms of impact on our health, because they're not. You see, our nose has evolved with our respiratory system, while our mouth has evolved with our digestive system, making one more ideal for breath over the long run. Here are a few reasons why using your nose is a good idea. First, it filters our air, trapping pathogens and harmful particles in its hairs and mucus sacs, holding them there until they can meet our ever so friendly immune system. Next, it humidifies and warms our air, preparing it for optimal absorption in the lungs. It also stimulates the release of a compound called nitric oxide, which dilates blood vessels, improves blood flow, lowers blood pressure, and reduces stress, ultimately helping activate the rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system, which is the ideal physiological state that we want to be in for the majority of our day. On top of all this, nasal breathing also improves oxygen efficiency, allowing one to absorb more while taking less breaths. And get this, it even improves posture. You try slouching while intuitively breathing through your nose. It ain't easy. And here's the kicker. All of these benefits are left on the table when choosing to chronically breathe through your mouth. And instead, one cultivates an internal physiological and biochemical environment which promotes dysfunction and ultimately disease. I know, not cool for biological school. So by making the switch to nasal breathing, you automatically level up your internal cellular environment and set yourself up for some crazy biological interest to accrue over time. And if you're finding it hard to get going or remember to breathe through your nose, try placing a small piece of tape no bigger than your fingertips right in the middle of your lips for a little bit each day to begin to cultivate the habit. There's also a whole bunch of breathing techniques and strategies we discuss in other videos which I'll link below. Alright, that was number 1. Hopefully you're not out of breath, because this next one is gonna need some stamina. Thing number 2 is everyone's favorite pastime, chewing. And let's start off with a fun fact. It's estimated that on average, most people take between 7 and 10 chews per bite. Not bad, right? Even if I think that estimate may be a tad bit generous. However, the celebration quickly dampens when I reveal the fact that the recommended chews per bite is between 20 and 30. Yeah. And of course, what you're chewing matters, but you get the idea. This is something that most of us do well over 1,000 times per day. And here's why adding a little more time and attention to your chewing can pay off big in the long run. A little known fact is that good digestion starts in the mouth. This is because there are enzymes in our saliva which begin to break down food before it's even swallowed. For example, an enzyme called amylase breaks down starches into sugars, which allows your body to absorb them more easily, while an enzyme called lingual lipase breaks down fats. What this means is the more that you chew, the more time and surface area you give these enzymes to bind and break down your foods into absorbable and usable nutrients. And I say absorbable because another byproduct of this chewing thing is better nutrient absorption. So you not only improve your digestion, but also get a better bang for your buck from a nutritional perspective. Damn is right. But wait, there's more. Chewing also slows us down because, we're busy doing it. This gives the satiety signal, which is a series of proteins, peptides, and hormones secreted at different points of digestion, time to do its thing, preventing you from getting up for seconds before you've had a chance to taste what you were eating in the first place, helping decrease the risk of overeating and all the discomfort which comes with it. So experts suggest that you should be chewing 20 to 30 times per bite, but I find, because every food is different, aiming to chew until an applesauce or mushy consistency is formed is a better benchmark to aim for. Oh, and I forgot to mention, chewing your food is also associated with decreasing stress levels. And we know how nefarious chronic stress can be for our cellular operations over time, right? So, building an eating ritual of sitting down, taking a deep nasal breath or two, removing the distraction devices, like the one you're on right now, taking bites that fill up no more than half your mouth, and chewing can be another game changer when compounded on the daily time frame. And when you're done, taking a 10-minute leisurely stroll just puts the icing on the digestion cake. You know what? Maybe that wasn't the best reference. But since we're on the topic of walking, let's move to thing number 3, stepping, or the OG exercise for us humans. This is something most people do over 1,000 times per day. And if not, there's a laundry list of reasons why they should. It is estimated that the average adult in the Western world takes between 4,000 and 8,000 steps per day, substantially fewer than our ancestors averaged all throughout history. And that's not something to hang our hats on, especially since modern science has done nothing but reiterate the fact that steps matter, displaying with clarity that more of them are associated with improved cardiovascular function, glycemic control, joint health, immune function, digestion, mood, cognition, structural strength, and weight control. So not only do we want to aim for upwards of 10,000 steps per day, but while we're doing it, optimize as many of those steps as we can. How, you ask? Here's a few ways. First, aim to get some of these steps first thing in the morning and after meals. This will go a long way in aligning your circadian rhythms, stimulating the lymphatic system, waking up the nervous system, and improving digestion. Another thing to keep in mind is taking more of them out in nature, ideally connected to the earth. Wearing grounding shoes or going barefoot. This will add all the benefits of earthing into the equation, which at a high level is the practice of reconnecting electrically with the earth, and as a byproduct, neutralizing one's own bioelectrical charge. What are some of these benefits, you ask? Well, emerging evidence has displayed that contact with the earth is a simple, natural, yet effective strategy to treat conditions such as chronic stress and pain, nervous system dysfunction, disrupted sleep, disturbed heart rate variability, poor blood flow, and longevity liability numero uno, chronic inflammation. So what better way to do it than while getting your steps in, enjoying the vibe boosting magic of a little nature. And speaking of vibe boosting, we have reached our bonus thing, and it has the power to drastically alter your entire physiological and biochemical vibe in a matter of seconds. Yes, seconds. Bonus thing number 4 is none other than thinking. Yes, thoughts are something that most neuroscientists agree happen to the tune of 20,000 plus times a day. And here's the wild part. The majority of the thoughts we have each day are the same thoughts we had the day before, creating this ever-going mental loop of beliefs and notions, which shape our emotional and psychological health for the better or for the worse. Because as we know, our thoughts are quite powerful. They have the ability to trickle down through the figurative layers of our mind and alter our physiological state in a matter of seconds. So cultivating a mind which has a mental framework around seeing the glass half empty can be one of the most devastating factors when it comes to long-term health. And unfortunately, unlike the other topics we covered today, there aren't a ton of tactical quick fixes which can convert your brain into a positivity machine overnight. It takes a little work and a whole lot of consistency, but there are definitely ways to make it happen. In fact, we have a number of videos on this very topic throughout this channel. This one, where we outline the strategies and techniques to become a better master of your mind, is a great place to start. Here we talk about building a mental framework to ingest, reframe, and spin the external happenings of the world you interact with. Becoming a better observer of your thoughts and identifier of your triggers. Controlling what you can control and doing what you can with what you have. Consciously letting go when something is not worth your time and energy. And becoming your biggest supporter. Because when it's all said and done, the person you interact with most throughout the entirety of your life is you. So you might as well make it a positive interaction, because there's only suffering when you do the opposite. This video will be linked below for anyone interested. And with that, our 1,000+ time a day powwow comes to a conclusion. I hope this opened your eyes just a little bit more around the untapped health potential around compounding the little things, the mundane bodily things that we do so much each and every day. Let me know if you thought up anything else by dropping them in the comments below. And before you suggest it, I know, I'm still trying to figure out how to optimize blinking. I even asked ChatGPT and it timed out, so let me know if you have any ideas.